when coaches first start to go online, they get confused on what they need to be working on because there's so much information out there. It's like work on this, work on that. Sometimes I hear that you guys are just like, staring in front of your computer and just kind of like paralyzed because you're like, man, I'm not sure what to do. So today I want to give you a roadmap and kind of go over some things that I go over with my paid students on my paid clients. So there's a lot of frustrations that I know, and there's three main frustrations that I see come up all the time, right? Number one is you're not sure what to focus on. So you kind of do a million things and you get nothing really done. You get like, 10% done of like 100 things and nothing ever gets accomplished, right? The second thing is what you're trying to do isn't working, and that's because you don't have a plan in place and you don't have the structure on what to do. And then the third thing is you feel like giving up because all this overwhelm, it leads to frustration, but you don't want to keep trying to do all the in-person training. You want to add this online component, but you're going to need some help. So today I'm going to give you some really good feedback on some things that you can be working on, right? And we're going to break down, three things: what you need to do to get from 0 to 8K, right? So you can get your first 6 figures. We're going to go over what you need to do to scale from 6 figures to multi 6 figures, and then once you get to multi 6 figures, being able to actually scale up from there, right? Because there's 3 things that I know that you want, right? You want to have more leads, and you want to have them consistently. You want to have your structure, and you want to have your systems in place. You want to know what you should be working on at what times that are going to like really move the needle forward in your business. And then the third thing is you want to have a consistent flow of high-paying new clients, right? So that way you can, serve more people, have more impact, and make a lot more money. So now we're gonna break down. Are you guys ready? Let's freaking go. Okay, I'm excited to share some of this with you guys. So I'm gonna share my screen and I'm gonna go over a worksheet that I've created. Like I said, it's called the TNT Success Roadmap. And if you want a copy of this roadmap, then just comment roadmap down below and I'll get you a copy. So so you guys can actually print this up and have it for yourselves. So as you see, when we first start off, there's going to be some core foundational pieces, and I see too many fit pros actually trying to do things that aren't in alignment with what they need to be doing at that time, because they see somebody who's doing $50,000 a month and then they're trying to do what they're doing, but in reality, like, you need to have your foundational pieces down, otherwise nothing's going to work for you. So that's why there's a sequential order on what to work on. So let's go ahead and dive in here. So as we see your 0 to 8K, this is going to be your foundational piece. And this is going to be all the things you need to take your time on, and you need to freaking nail. You got to get these down really, really good, okay? So the first thing is you need to know who you're talking to. So you need to have your avatar down. You need to have your mission statement down. So your mission statement is like, who you help, how you help them, what you help them do without, right? Your avatar is your ideal client. You need to have the persona. Because if you go in and you try to go in and help everybody, you're literally going to speak to nobody. I'm sure you've heard this a million times, but you need to narrow down and you need to be the authority in your niche, right? Because if you're seen as the authority, then people are going to want to go to you. Okay, if you have a heart problem, you're not going to go to a general doctor to have heart surgery, right? You're going to go to a heart surgeon. If you have a brain tumor, you're going to go to a brain surgeon. Same kind of thing. If people have a very specific pain point, then they want to get the best and they want to get the specialist. They don't want to go to just like a general trainer. They want to go to a specialist, somebody who really specializes in working with people just like that. Hopefully that makes sense. So this is the first thing you need to do, is really choose your avatar, dive down, get your mission statement down, so that way when people click on your bio, they know who they are, they're speaking to. And the second thing is going to be content creation. Obviously, you can be the top trainer in the world, but if you're not giving content and you're not letting people know how good you are and being able to address pain problems and paint the solution, then nobody's going to know that you exist. So content creation is key. And that's why social media is so powerful, because you can actually be social on social media. And that's what a lot of people don't realize, is they take the social out of social media and they think just because they're on social media that people are just going to run to them, right? And same thing with having a website. A lot of fitness professionals are like, hey, I have a website, so now I'm going to start getting all these clients. Well, you have to be able to get people to the website first, and that's going to be content. Okay. The next thing that we want to do, and these are all in the attraction phase, as you can see here, is we want to create some things to be able to give away where people can like literally see, what you do, how they help them with. So just like a very specific thing that you're able to give away. It's called a lead magnet. And a lead magnet is how you're going to generate leads. So what you can do is you can say, hey, I have this 5-step guide to, the best fat burning foods, like whatever it is. Right. And then you can give it away to people. And then in exchange, you say, yeah, what's your email? And I'll send it right over. So you're able to collect their email address. Right. And so then you can have them as a lead in your database and you can continue to nurture them because people aren't going to want to enroll with you unless they have 3 things from you, unless they know you, they like you, and they trust you, especially if it's in a higher priced coaching program. Right. So that's why you have to build that rapport. And this is going to be the first step. And that's creating a lead magnet, okay? Next thing we got to do is we got to optimize your social media. So if all you have on your social media is, a picture with your puppy and you're not showing that you actually have clients and that you help people and showing some transformations and showing social proof and, literally all the different transformations and things, then people are not going to perhaps see you as that authoritative figure. So we want to make sure your social media is dialed in, okay? Next, we're going to go to the conversion piece. So this is that we just talked about all the attraction, so ways to attract your clients. Now the conversion, and keep in mind, this is all in that foundational phase of going from 0 to 8K. So we want to work on your sell by chat and your conversations. When I say sell by chat, I'm not talking that you have to sell anything. It's just the conversion and the conversation process that takes place. So if somebody comments and is like, and you have a lead magnet that you're giving away, you can go up to them and be like, yeah, start an organic conversation. So yeah, I see that you want my, 5 best fat burning foods. And, can I ask you a couple questions? And they're like, yeah, sure, good. So, see that you want to lose weight, ideally how much weight would you want to lose? And they're like, well, I would like to lose like 50 pounds. Okay, cool. So what have you tried in the past? You see how it kind of goes into a conversation. They're like, oh, well, I tried Weight Watchers and I've tried this and I've tried that. And then you're like, okay, and then you can say, so how long has this been a problem for you? Well, it's been a problem for like the past 10 years. Ever since I got married, I've been, slowly gaining weight. And since then I've gained like 60 pounds, but I'd be happy with just losing 50, or even 40, if you can help me with that. Right. So you start that whole conversation place and then you can turn that into, hey, I have a few ideas that we can jump on. Is that something you'd be up for? And they'd be like, yeah, cool. Then you set up your first call, right? And that's a triage call, which we'll jump into later. But that's basically your conversation process. So you want to make sure that you're having conversations with people that are engaging with your content, right? You don't have to do anything cold. It's just, all warm engagement. Then from here, we want to set your price. So you want to get paid what you're worth. So no more charging $50 or $100 a month. Like literally you want to be able to get paid what you're worth. And then you want to set an MRR. An MRR is your monthly recurring revenue. So instead of having to re-sign your clients every single 8 weeks or 12 weeks or whatever it is, like literally have something on the back end where they continue working with you month to month, where you don't have to keep signing them, right? Then we have your sales process and your scripts and, the 2-call close. The triage call is the initial call that you would do to make sure that they're going to be a good fit. And then you would have your strategy call. And if you haven't already gotten my strategy call script, then you can, comment strategy call down below and I'll get you my strategy call script because I have that. Then we want to craft your offer that, is something that's mind blowing, right? We want to have an offer that's different from everybody else. And then we have your delivery. So we want to set up your training app. I prefer PT Distinction, but you can use Trainerize, you can use True Coach, you can use PT Hub, like all the different training apps out there. They all, are pretty good, but you want to choose something that's going to work functionally with what you have to offer. And next we have the 9-box system. The 9-box system is freaking amazing. This is what's going to separate you from all the other coaches out there. This is something I teach in my elite level coaches program, where we have a step-by-step process where you create a visual roadmap through every stage of your training. You don't need that if you don't have that yet. So if you're interested in that, you can always let me know. And then you can design your flagship program. So this is going to be like your first 8 weeks or your first 12 weeks of when somebody works with you. You want to literally have that completely dialed in. And you don't need to, if you haven't trained anybody yet, you don't need to have all 12 weeks done. You can literally just be 1 or 2 weeks ahead of them. But eventually, once you've had some clients under your belt, you want to have a very robust 12-week system set up, and then you'd have your monthly recurring on the back end of that. Okay. Some ways that you can get some really good leads is to run challenges. Challenges are great. You can, and sometimes the shorter, even the better. Like I've seen some challenges that are like 12-week challenges and 8-week challenges and all those things. And you'll have a lot of drop off, especially if it's not a paid challenge, because people aren't invested if they don't pay. So the more they pay, the more they're going to pay attention. So that's why if you're going to do a free, you can start off with a 5-day when they're still hot, 14 days even, where you get them a specific result, and then they'll want to continue to work with you. And then we have your other things too, right? So your scaling, so your referrals, your testimonials, you want to have a process in place so that way you can get your referrals and testimonials. Because if you're not doing that, you're not getting social proof, and you're literally shooting yourself in the foot of a lot of revenue and potential clients you could be helping out. Okay, we want to track your metrics. So if you don't know your metrics, like how many conversations that you're starting, what your sales and your conversion process is, all the different stats that you're going to need to have throughout the day, then you're not going to know what's working and what's not working. So you're not going to know where to get fixed, right? So you want to make sure you're tracking your stats. Then you want to have your payment processor. So when somebody says, yes, I do want to work with you, you're not doing like, oh, well, just Venmo me or whatever. Like you want to have a professional, processor. Stripe is my favorite, but you can always use PayPal, or there's, Honeybucks and, Square, a lot of other ones out there too, right? And then you want to have a daily formula and a routine. So all these things I have in place. If you have any questions on these, then you can definitely let me know, because I have a daily formula routine worksheet that's literally just for you to help you get your mindset right and focus on the main key things that you need to work on throughout the day. So these are going to be your foundational pieces here. And then we also have your growth phases. So once you get to 6 figures, now we want to work on scaling it to multi 6 figures, right? So now we're going to create lead gen funnels. We're going to optimize your 9-box system. We're going to create your email and your nurture series. We want to create a newsletter that goes out where you continue to build that know, like, and trust. Then you can start to run webinars and events and paid advertising. You don't do any paid ads until you really start making some money, because you can literally like shoot your business in the foot and just like literally break it down. I've seen so many fit pros, like they try to click on these ads and say, hey, well, run this ad, run that ad. No, do everything organic until you can literally make at least 8 to 10K, and then you can really just scale that, what's already working, right? And then raise your prices once you get to a certain aspect. You don't need to keep charging low ticket. You can charge high ticket, and it definitely works. And then you want to improve your client experience. So think about, what your clients are going through and how you can improve that. You want to create SOPs, which are standard operating procedures. And this is going to be, so when you start to hire a team, which you will get to, you want to have all the processes in place that you do on a daily basis. So that way you can have somebody else take that off of your plate so you can grow and you can scale. We want to add delivery models. So instead of having one program, now we can have multiple programs that you offer. You want to be able to hire, a virtual assistant or somebody to help out with lead gen, or maybe it's going to be somebody to help out with sales, or, whatever you don't like to do, you're going to be able to have somebody take that off your plate. Okay, but we want to have processes in place first and know what works really well before you're able to do that. And then you want to have a CRM like FitPro Solution, where it literally handles all your marketing and all your automations on autopilot. You eventually want to switch to group coaching, right? You can still have some one-on-one, which is going to be more of a premium. And then you can have your group coaching program, and you can still charge high ticket for group coaching where everybody learns. And then they will have their individual things that you will do, for them, right? They'll have their individual nutrition, their individual workouts. But as far as, you doing the actual coaching calls and things, you'll be able to actually switch to group coaching. So you can leverage your time and literally have so much more time on your plate. It's going to be amazing. And then there's the 20 to 50K when you really start to crush it. And then you want to get to 7 figures. That's when we're going to add new social channels. So, initially you may only start off on 1 to 2 of your favorite platforms where your ideal clients hang out. And then we want to amplify that, right? So it might be, moving on to TikTok, or it might be LinkedIn, or adding, besides Facebook and Instagram and so forth, really being able to amplify your social channels, or amplify your current channels and then add your social channels. Optimize your funnels. So funnels are going to take a lot of work. Initially, you can have, more basic funnels, and then we want to optimize them and really, find out what's working, and optimize those and do split testing and things so you can get a higher lead conversion. Then we want to improve your sales events. So like when you're running your webinars and your live events, you're going to be able to improve those and make those badass. So that way you have something where people want to be a part of. Then you're going to want to master your Fit Pro solution, which is your CRM. There's a lot to it. It is freaking amazing, but obviously it's going to take some time to really master. You can scale your paid ads. So once you get what's working, you get your lower conversion process, your lower basically cost per acquisition, then you can scale what's working. And once you've done multiple split tests. And then with your delivery, you can optimize your ascension model. So ascension model is going to be like if you have one program and then you want to get them into your higher price program. And now that you have more delivery models, you're going to be able to create an ascension method for that. Okay. Then you can run client only events. How nice is that? If you want to take all your clients, meet in Hawaii, trade them all on a beach, and then they pay $5,000 to be there with you, right? Optimize your revenue model. Then we're going to upgrade your team. So like all your team members, you want to get ones that are A players instead of like B and C players that you may start off with it initially until you really start to go. Then you want to systemize all of your ops, right? All your operations. You want to have systems and SOPs for everything that you do. So that way you're able to work on the business instead of working so hard in the business. And the last thing we want to do is we want to master your metrics and really get down everything to the nitty gritty, what's working, what's not working, so that way you can continue to scale. So I hope this was extremely helpful for you. And like I said, if you want this worksheet, then just comment roadmap down below and I'll send it over to you. It's the TNT Success Roadmap. And this has been amazing for my clients and what they can actually focus on to build, six-figure and multi-six-figure businesses. Hopefully you guys have an amazing rest of your day. And if you guys need anything else, just know I am here for you 100%. So you guys take care. Message me if you guys need anything. Adios.